Iran may have just agreed to a deal, or they may have just bought themselves 30 more days. And that is the part of this story everybody needs to slow down and look at first thing this morning. Because according to Axios, the United States and Iran are now closing in on a one-page memorandum of understanding to end the war, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, pause nuclear enrichment, lift sanctions, and release billions of dollars in frozen Iranian funds. Now, on the surface, that sounds like peace, but I don't look at this like a political headline. I look at this like a pressure map. The Strait of Hormuz was the pressure point. The naval blockade was the leverage. Iran's nuclear program was the bargaining chip, and sanctions relief, that's the real prize. So the real question is not, did Trump get Iran to the table?
The saying goes, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
The real question is this: did Iran blink because the pressure worked? Or did Iran just find a way to pause the battlefield, divide the room, get money flowing again, and drag America into another endless negotiation? Because this reported memo does not actively solve the problem yet. It creates a 30-day window where everything can either move towards a real agreement or collapse right back into military action. As somebody who spent 20 years in the Navy on submarines, I can tell you this: when a hostile regime starts talking peace right after pressure shows up in the water, you don't celebrate first, you verify. You watch the shipping lanes, you watch the enrichment sites, you watch the money, and you watch whether their actions match the paper.
Well, this morning, Axios is reporting that a memorandum of understanding could be reached in the next 48 hours that would include 14 points agreed to by both the United States and Iran, among them an enrichment moratorium and also opening eventually the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if this does move forward, it's an indication that progress is being made at the negotiating table. The question is whether or not the Iranians are serious about actually signing this understanding and if it would lead to a firm, broader agreement in the future. Within the reporting that we're reviewing this morning is a 30-day window to reach that broader understanding. Now, the White House has not commented on this report, but this could be one of the reasons why the president is pulling back, at least on Project Freedom right now, again, to allow the Iranians to come to the negotiating table and reach this deal in the days ahead.
So there we have Trey Yinks. Thank you, Trey. Thanks for sending it back here to Arkansas. So let's now look at what Axios says. Axios has this article. It came out 3 hours ago. The U.S. and Iran is closing in on a one-page memo to end the war. The White House believes it's getting close to an agreement. And then at the same time, if you read here, the big picture, the U.S. expects Iranian response on several key points in the next 48 hours. The one thing that I would like everybody to realize right now is that Iran has so much pressure on them. Their leader, or their foreign minister, is in China this morning. Iran has so much pressure on them right now. Their foreign minister, Aragachi, he is in Beijing meeting with Xi Jinping because of the amount of pressure, the amount of emphasis that Iran has on them, not only on the defensive front, not only on the airstrikes, but they signed a $400 billion deal with China to supply them with petroleum, to supply them with oil, natural gas, and I'm sure there's a laundry list of other things, in exchange for probably some protections, some military equipment, but more importantly, that cash. China holds their debt. They could bankrupt this entire country with the flip of a switch or possibly a phone call. That is where so many people are missing the point. China is an Iranian holder. They are a stockholder. They are the CEO at the seat of the Iranian government. And nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to talk about it. But that is an absolute fact. I'd love to get your opinion. Do you think that China is actually doing or making the decisions for the Iranians? Because it feels like that. It feels like multiple people are negotiating for Iran against the president. And it seems like America is on their own, or at least that's what we've been shown. to our face. None of our NATO allies are there. None of them are carrying their own weight. But if this one-page memo holds true, then Trump can claim a huge victory by getting rid of this nuclear enrichment program, by opening back up the Strait of Hormuz the way it should be opened so that the free flow of world commercial traffic can go in and out of there. And I think Iran is going to be pressured into this. With all the volatility in the market, you need to think about gold. And when the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. And you can see right now, gold is a little under $4,800 an ounce. I want you to fast forward today. U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Gold, on the other hand, has increased in value by over 12,000%. That's why central banks are buying gold at record levels. That's why major firms, and some of them you don't want to talk about, like Vanguard and BlackRock, hold significant positions in gold. And that's why I encourage you to consider diversifying your savings with physical gold just like this. Also, silver and platinum, any precious metals that you're interested in investing in for you and your family, they sell it. Text my name, Dykes, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. Here are more phases of this: a phased rollback of both U.S. and Iranian naval restrictions. That is huge. Let's get the traffic flowing back there. Gradual sanctions from relief from the U.S. I'm not sure I agree with this part of it, but this is all a give and take relationship right now. If we want things to get back to normal, we're going to have to make some sanctions relief happen here. Now, here's a great point. The long-term freeze on Iranian uranium enrichment. Say that 4 times fast. It's reportedly between 12 and 15 years, and automatic extensions if Tehran violates the terms. Now, I don't know how many of you believe that Iran will carry through on anything they negotiate with, but you know there's going to be some checks and balances in place. Just like the old Cold War, the United States and Russia. We had a program called the STAR Treaty, where they actually had Russian military inspectors come on board some of the nuclear submarines I were on and actually check to see if we had nuclear warheads. And we did the same thing there. So there will be a level of verification. The next big point, Iran potentially agreeing to remove its stockpile, highly enriched uranium from the country. That is the big one. You get rid of their uranium, you get it out of their country, out of their capability of enriching, but then where does it go? Does it come to the United States? Does it go to a neighboring country that maybe we don't trust? I don't know. Apparently, the White House is waiting for this formal response from Iran. And you and I both know that the way that the news media works, if this is coming out today, then this happened 3 days ago, because the current administration is so much better than the previous with regards to keeping things on the down low, keeping things secret. The previous administration leaked everything. I believe this image shows exactly what we want. We want some military warships in that region. We want the free flow of commercial traffic. We're not leaving. We are going to stay. We're going to trust, but we're going to verify exactly what's happening. We got more information coming out of the New York Post. They're confirming this. So this is really at the tipping point of an actual deal. And a lot of this pressure is going to be because of President Trump is headed to Beijing very soon. Very soon. The groundwork is already being laid. So there's a couple of things I want you to remember. Number one, the president is leading the negotiations. Number two, the president is going to China. Number three, the foreign minister for Iran is in China. A deal is not victory until the leverage holds. If Iran truly pauses enrichment, if they open the strait, if they accept inspections, if they stop playing games, then maybe the pressure worked. But if this is just another 30-day stall tactic wrapped in diplomatic language, then the United States has to be ready to snap the pressure right back into place. Because paper does not secure the Strait of Hormuz, leverage does. And that is what I'll be watching over the next 24 hours. Drop your take below. Is this a real deal, or is Iran buying time? Comment deal if you think the pressure worked. Comment trap if you think Iran is stalling. And if you want straight military and geopolitical analysis without the media spin, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications. I spent 20 years in the United States Navy submarine force, and on this channel, we don't just chase the headlines, we break down what they mean. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.